Hello, how are y'all doing out there? Today we're going to learn the notes on the fretboard of the bass guitar. If you have a bass guitar with you, that's great. If you don't worry. You can learn the notes on the neck even without having a bass guitar in your hands. What we have here is a visual representation of the neck of the bass guitar. Down in this area here we have the nut. If you had the keys, they would be up in this area, the headstock. And of course, these are the open notes. On the bass, you have 4 strings. This is your big string down here. If you pluck the big string open without pressing a note down, you have the note E. The third string is A. The second string is D, and the first string is G. There's some things I want you to remember that are very consistent when learning the notes on the guitar or any instrument as far as that goes. The first thing I want you to remember is that in music you only have 7 letters, A through G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. There is no H, I, J, etc. Now, in music we have what's called natural notes, and we also have chromatic notes. For example, E, F, G, and A are all natural notes, meaning they don't have a sharp or a flat, such as F sharp and B flat. Those are what we call chromatics. But I want to talk about natural notes first. So we're going to learn the natural notes on the 4th string. The notes are always in alphabetical order. Now, granted, the 4th string is E. That's not A. That's not the beginning of the alphabet. However, if we start at E and progress upward from that point, we're going to be in alphabetical order. So let's look at the natural notes. E, the 1st fret is F, the 3rd fret is G, then we run out of letters and we go back to A, B, C, D, and we're at E again. E on the 12th fret, just like E on the open note. That's what they call the octave. So the notes are in alphabetical order. And that's something else I want you to notice. In music, E to F is only 1 fret. We call that distance a half step. A half step is the distance from 1 fret to the next fret. From E to F is a half step. But from F to G is 2 frets. We call that a whole step. G to A is 2 frets. We call that a whole step. A to B is 2 frets. A whole step. B to C is only a half step. C to D is a whole step. And D to E is a whole step. So before you play these accidentals, I want you to play the natural scale. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. I want you to notice that there's always a half step between B and C and between E and F. All the other natural notes are a whole step from part. F to G is a whole step. G to A is a whole step. A to B is a whole step. C to D is a whole step. And D to E is a whole step. An easy way to remember this is remember the word be. To be or not to be, that's the question. B and E do not have a sharp. E goes straight to F. B goes straight to C. So after you learn the natural scale, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, then we can come back and learn the chromatic notes. Now, something I want to talk about chromatic notes. Notice this F sharp. What does sharp mean? Sharp means higher. It's higher than F, isn't it? That's why it's called F sharp. But you know what? It's lower than G. I could have called it G flat. G flat and F sharp are the same note. Sometimes you call it F sharp. Sometimes you call it G flat. It depends on what song you're playing and what key it's in. You'll notice up here I have B flat instead of A sharp. I wanted to do A sharp there to save confusion, but my software insisted on putting B flat. But A sharp and B flat is the same note. See, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. So every natural note has a sharp except E and B. That's the way. Now what I like to do is I like to call those chromatics sharp ascending and flats descending. For example, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. Descending, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E. Now, all these things we're talking about, I want you to just simply take it and apply it to every string. Same things are true. Look here. A sharp, B, half step to C sharp, D sharp, E, half step to F sharp, G sharp, A. I like to call them flats, descending, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, and A. We can do the same thing on the first two strings, but I'm going to show you an easy way to learn those two strings by knowing these two strings. That's why it's so important to learn the fourth string and the third string. If you know the fourth and third string well, these two strings come easier. What I want you to remember is what's called octaves. Whatever note you have on the fourth string, for example, this E, if you just skip a string and go up 2 frets, you have the same note. E. Fourth string E, go up 2 frets on the second string, you have E. F, first fret, fourth string, up 2 frets on the second string, F. F sharp, up 2 frets to F sharp. G sharp. Excuse me. G sharp, A sharp. A, B flat, B and B, C sharp, D sharp, etc. Excuse me, I stumbled back in here somewhat. I don't want to confuse y'all. But anyway, the same thing is true from the third string to the first string. Look here. Third string open is A. The first string, second fret is A. First fret on the third string is A sharp or B flat. Third fret, first string is A sharp or B flat. Second fret on the second string is B. First string, fourth fret is B. See, third fret C. First string, fifth fret C. So the octaves are always 2 frets higher. I don't care where you're at. Look here, E, 2 frets higher. Skip a string, E. Look here, C, 2 frets higher, C. That always works. Bass is very symmetrical, and all the strings they relate to each other very easily in that sense. So once you get that, what I like to do is use what's called the cycle of fifths. What I like to do is say, okay, I'll say C on the fourth string, then I'll find it on the third string, then I'll find it on the second string, then I find it on the first string. The next note in the cycle of keys is G. Find it on the fourth string, find it on the third, second, and first. D, fourth string, D, or just pick any note that you want to do, and find them on each string. Another thing I like to do is find every note on each string. C, G, D, A, E. In that example, I'm following the cycle of fifths. But anyway, that's just a couple of tips on learning the notes on the neck of the bass. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll be glad to respond. Thank you.